This is an honest review of Divinity Original Sin 2. Let's take a look.
Guys, this game is incredible. This is probably the best, by definition, with the exception of Skyrim and Fallout 3, of an RPG that I have ever played. Now, a quick disclaimer before we start getting into this review. I played this twice now. I played it first for about, it was probably anywhere between 5 to 10 hours. And then I realized all of I started figuring out the game. And so I said, all right, I want to go back and I want to make a new person. And so I did that. And then I played another around 10 hours again. So I have about, somewhere anywhere between 15 to 20 hours played in this game. And this game is just vast. Most of that time, of that 15 to 20 hours, I spent in just the first little area that is most of this footage is going to be in. A little bit is out of this, but this game is just vast. Okay, so first of all, I want to get this rant out of the way first. This is an RPG. Okay, now most people have been what they have had shoved down their throat. The idea of an RPG is just delusion. It's fucking delusion, guys. Okay, we're talking games like any of the Witchers, Dark Souls, God of War, Gotham Knights, right? These games are labeled as RPGs. Guys, these aren't RPGs. They have RPG elements. Okay? Just because you can create a character or create a class does not make it an RPG, all right? In this game, to its core, it is open world. You can go anywhere you want and do anything. And this is very pronounced in the second gameplay that I did. All of this footage, by the way, is from the second gameplay. When I started, all of the outcomes that I had from my first one was completely different from my second one, right? So some of the allies that I had before now became my enemies, and they were dead on the ground after about, a few minutes of having to fight them. The people that I had interacted before, I wasn't able to because... And this is how in-depth this game is, guys. If you use certain races or certain backstories of characters to interact with other characters, it'll open up a plethora of opportunities to do anything, right? So in my first playthrough, I played as this elf called, I think her name is like Sable or something like that. And she always carried around this needle that I guess she got into a toughie with some guy named Griff. All right, well, he's on this island that you end up getting washed up on. Well, you were able to find a way off this island through this NPC because I played as her, or she's just in your party. The second time I went through, I wasn't able to do that. I didn't even have the option. Even though I knew that he knew the way out, I wasn't able to unlock that option because I didn't have that associated character in my party or just my own character at all. That also goes into knowing where secret areas are, right? So the first time I had 2 areas that I had unlocked, little secret passages, right? And I had done stuff to be able to unlock that. When I went through in my second area, I was just kind of thinking to myself, all right, yeah, I'm going to go through. I'm just going to kind of catch up to speed where I was before. And then I'm just going to kind of roll on where I was. Oh, hell no. That's not how this game works. And it's incredible, guys. It's incredible. I went to where I knew there was a secret door in this area. And I wasn't able to uncover it because I hadn't gone through the steps yet to unlock that or to get that intel on where it is. So let's kind of get into the mechanics now. You can make your character any way you want. So right in the beginning, you can choose between any race. There's dwarves, there's undead, there's lizards, there's humans, there's undead humans, there's undead elves, undead dwarves. And they all come with their own little type of, traits and natural skills that they have, right? I remember I had on both of my teams, but on my team in this run, this guy named Thane, and he was an undead human. I was able to pick doors. I mean, guys, just listen to this. I had no lockpicks on me, okay? But I was able to pick doors using him. He would use his fingers and he would get in there and kind of wiggle along with his fingers, and he would unlock doors if he had a high enough thievery skill. I mean, wow. I would have never thought about that. That's incredible. Why not, right? As long as you can get the part in there. So I ended up creating a rogue character. My first playthrough, I made a battle mage. I didn't really care for it that much. It just didn't really fit my playstyle as much as I would hope. But I made a rogue the second time. And the way that your stats work are just... Getting gear in this game feels good. It makes a hard impact on just the way that you fight. You might also unlock like character points, or if you put on this piece of gear, your thievery might increase to 1 as long as you have that gear piece on, right? So that could unlock a plethora of opportunities for you to do. Especially in this beginning area here, a lot of the doors to unlock requires thievery 1. Well, you could have a completely different experience from your first time as opposed to your second time, just like I did. Now, some of the problems, because I mean, most of it is incredible, okay? But there are just like a couple. I mean, they're not even really problems. They're just kind of funny things. When you're sneaking around, it's kind of it's funny because depending on the environment that you're in, you don't just crouch. Your people don't just crouch. They'll like hide under this barrel will just spawn in, or this rock will just spawn in, and you just see these objects just moving, and your people are underneath. You know, that's kind of, it's unimmersive, sure, but that's like 5% of the game. The rest of it is incredible. That, you know, it's more of a laugh than it is anything. You're like, you know, okay, that's great. Now the story. You're sorcerers, and shit's gone down, Holmes. And no, they don't like you, and you have these collars on your neck, and they suppress your abilities. Well, right now I'm trying to get this collar off. Like I said, guys, I'm like almost 10 hours into this game, and I still haven't gotten off. Apparently, people have spent up to 40 hours just in this area alone. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you could get hundreds of hours into this game. All right, I digress. So, and you're just trying to figure it out, but the way that this game feels, it has the Skyrim effect. It has the Fallout 3 effect. You know, like you emerge from the cave, or you emerge from Vault 101, and the world just says, I want to go in that direction, and I want to see what's out there. It makes you want to loot everything. It makes you want to talk to everyone. See, quests aren't just given out like candy. You have to interact with people, and depending on who's in your squad that you may have, because see, you can roam alone, or you can roam with a party of people. You can do whatever the f you want. I killed this one woman just because I didn't like the way that she looked at me, and I was able to do that, and it was incredible. The combat in this game is incredibly unforgiving. Now, you can change that in the difficulty whenever you start in the game, depending on sort of the experience you want. I played in classic mode, which is equivalent to maybe like a normal. And then there's an exploration mode, which is not as combat intensive, or makes combat easier. It is more focused on just, you know, exploring the world. Then there's a story mode, which is more focused on story-driven aspects as opposed to combat and exploration, which I thought was really nice, because, you know, it's a nice change of pace on what difficulty is. It's not just enemies deal more damage and you take less, and you take more damage. I mean, yeah, so that was really cool to see something like that. Now, the combat is incredibly unforgiving. I cannot tell you, I mean, how many times I've died. My entire squad has wiped, and I had to find out a way to res them, because they don't just die. Now, when they die, they're dead. However, you can resurrect them with the resurrection scrolls. And this just adds into how vast this game is. I started in the beginning. I was walking around still trying to figure out the game. My entire squad wiped except for one chick. Okay, and I had to figure out, I had to raise enough money, because I knew some vendors that sold some resurrection scrolls. I had to raise enough money to buy 3 of them. Now, these aren't cheap items to buy. We're talking anywhere between like the $700 to like the $1,200 range scrolls, okay? I had to find a way to be able to make that enough money, and I had barely any gold. So you start exploring around, you start interacting with other people because they, you don't know who to talk to. You have to go out, you have to be the character. That's what I'm saying. This is an RPG to the core. So I had to figure out how to make money. So I ended up doing some side quests. I ended up like having to steal from some people. I was buddying up with some people, and as soon as I got them alone, I freaking ganked them and ripped out their spleen and took all their money. And then after I had enough, I went and was able to buy the resurrection scrolls, and I brought everyone back to life. And then I went into a dungeon, and they all died again. And you know what? That whole experience was great because the game never told me what I needed to do. They let you live the life of your characters. And if you're looking for a great RPG, if you're looking for just being able to just do whatever you want, if you're looking for really satisfying combat, yes, the combat's difficult, it is, but it's satisfying. The reward weighs out with the risk. If you're looking to just sink some hours into a really excellent game, guys, this game is it. And I think right now it's like $45. Guys, you can get about $45 worth of play just in the starting section alone if you care enough. Buying this game is a no-brainer. So I didn't hit on everything, but really just what it takes and what the game is at its core and what you're going to expect to going into this game. And that's what I want to give you. The inventory system, you'll be doing a lot of that, but the inventory is nice because all the inventories are clumped together, so that's really nice. Besides that, everything else is pretty much, everything else is like what I've said. There's a little bit of nuanced stuff, but the main core of what this game is what I've said. So I really appreciate you listening, and we'll see you in the next one.